Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded to YouTube, but today I'm bringing you 10 facts about the Dredge as I've decided that he'll be the first killer I decide to Prestige 100. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below as it really does help the video promote through YouTube, and consider subscribing for more content as I'm currently pushing towards 1,000 subscribers in order to partner with YouTube. And without further ado, let's begin. For our first fact, did you know that the destroyed pillow add-on is actually worse than you think it is? This add-on has the simple effect that it decreases your teleport cooldown while in Nightfall by 2.5 seconds, and on the surface this might sound good, however consider this. For the majority of the game you're not going to be in Nightfall, and when you are in Nightfall, you already get your power back faster by default compared to when you're in daytime. You might think that when you use the field recorder add-on, the very rare add-on that lets you start the game in Nightfall, that you might get value from the destroyed pillow's cooldown reduction, but fun fact, no. For some reason, when using these two add-ons combined, the game doesn't recognize them in order for them to work together, and so it does not reduce the time it takes for you to get your power at the start of the game. Now, this leads into the second fact, in that the destroyed pillow's counterpart, the Automarian Writing, which reduces your teleport cooldown during daytime by 4 seconds, actually does reduce the time it takes you to gain your power at the start of the trial. The default time that you'd have to wait for your power at the start of the trial is actually 12 seconds, but with this add-on it gets reduced to 8 seconds instead. The reason I bring up the Automarian Writing when discussing the destroyed pillow is because when you combine the Automarian Writing with the field recorder add-on, together you get the reduced cooldown before you're able to use your power at the start of the game for a total of 8 seconds, despite starting the game in Nightfall thanks to the field recorder add-on. Hence why the destroyed pillow is actually truly an awful add-on. And if anyone from Behavior is watching this, please rework this add-on. I just have so many of them that I'm not going to use because the Automarian Writing surpasses it in every single way. Now, keeping up with these add-ons, let's talk about what everyone besides me thinks is the Dredge's best add-on, the Malthinker's Skull. This add-on increases the rate at which the Nightfall meter charges by 66% whenever a survivor is injured by any means. For those of you who are unaware as to how the Dredge's Nightfall mechanic works, it takes you 300 charges to activate Nightfall. The Dredge can earn charges passively over time and by performing various actions, including teleporting to lockers, teleporting back to his remnant, and injuring and hooking survivors, all of which will reward you with various amounts of Nightfall charges when actively using your power. Now passively, the Dredge can earn Nightfall at 0.25 charges from the beginning of the trial, and when a survivor becomes injured, it increases it by 0.75 charges per second per each injured survivor. In a customs game where I equipped all 4 survivor bots with the perk No Mither, which makes them broken and injured at the start of the trial for the entire game, it only took 57 seconds to trigger Nightfall. This was with me taking no further actions during the custom match, as I did not chase, hook, or attack the survivors in any meaningful way. I literally just stood in place for the pursuit of knowledge. Now, 57 seconds is actually a pretty good amount of time to earn Nightfall, as it lasts for 60 seconds, as you're stronger when it's active. However, the chances of getting a 4-man squad all using the perks No Mither is very unlikely. Plus, good survivors know that you can gain more charges while they stay injured, and this will heal themselves in order to counter you from gaining your power faster. Now, with that information, you now know the max value you can get from the Malthinker's Skull in order to trigger Nightfall, but did you know you can earn Nightfall even faster with a different add-on? The add-on in question is the Fallen Shingle, which causes you to gain 50% more charges per second whenever you're using your power, Reign of Darkness. This applies to whenever you sit inside a locker, teleport between lockers, and are teleporting back to your remnant. Now, teleporting back to your remnant gives you 10 charges each time you do it, but that's not really the important part, because whenever you're hiding in a locker and teleporting between lockers, you gain 6 charges per second, and with the Fallen Shingle it becomes 6.9 seconds per second. From the moment your 12-second cooldown is over at the start of the game, whenever you hop inside a locker, it will only take you 55 seconds in order to charge Nightfall, which is not only faster than the Malthinker's Skull, but when paired with the Automarian Writing, you could get it even faster by saving those additional 4 seconds at the start of the trial. Now, considering that the survivors start the trial healthy, and you're probably going to teleport once you gain your power, the Fallen Shingle will come into play a lot sooner than the Malthinker's Skull would. Also, because teleporting and hiding in lockers is within your power as the Dredge, compared to keeping survivors injured, the Fallen Shingle is the more consistent add-on out of the two. This is why I believe the Fallen Shingle is the superior of the two add-ons, and why the Malthinker's Skull is not the best Dredge add-on, like some content creators would have you believe it is. Now, if you're wondering from this previous information what's the fastest time you can get in Nightfall, then the answer is 32 seconds. This is whenever you combine the Malthinker's Skull and Fallen Shingle together for their increased charge rates. This is really only doable in a customs game, but if every survivor was injured or running the perk No Mither, and you hopped inside a locker as soon as you were able to at the start of the trial, then you would get Nightfall in 32 seconds. Now, if you're wondering what's the longest time it'll take to get Nightfall, if you're having a slow or bad start to the game, you're not teleporting for whatever reason, or unable to injure survivors, it would take you 1200 seconds in order to get Nightfall passively at 0.25 charges per second. And that's actually a really insane amount of time considering that 1200 seconds is actually the same as 20 minutes, so yeah, use your teleport ability whenever you can in order to actually increase the rate if you're having a bad game. Now for this next fact, we're going to be talking about the Dredge's cosmetics. Each character has 3 separate cosmetic pieces that you can customize with different outfits. For killers, they get a headpiece, a body, and a weapon. And survivors, they get a headpiece, an upper body, and a lower body. Well, did you know that the Dredge is actually the only character in the game that doesn't have a headpiece customizable slot? What we see as his head is actually considered a part of his body, with his right arm being his weapon and his left arm being its own cosmetic piece, essentially taking the place of what would normally be the killer's headpiece. This is actually noted in several of his arm cosmetics, which reference it as either his mask or his head despite being his arm. For this next fact, if you've played the Dredge before, you know that whenever you enter Nightfall and teleport to either a locker or back to your remnant, he gets Killer Instinct whenever a survivor is near him. However, nowhere in the power description is this mentioned at all, and I find this just overall very strange, as it plays an important role in his tracking ability whenever he's at his strongest, which is in Nightfall. I say it's strange because when compared to the other killers where Killer Instinct plays a very minor role to their powers, such as the Twins, Wesker, or even Nemesis, they all have it mentioned in their power descriptions by comparison. I'm not sure if that means if it was an oversight on someone's part whenever they were writing the text up, if it was added to his power at the last minute, or if it was an unintended feature added to his power. Anyways, I'll let y'all decide down below in the comments section. Now I bring up Killer Instinct because for this last fact, did you know that similar to the Twins, whenever you leave Victor idle in the environment, if you're crouching or crouch walking near him, he won't get Killer Instinct. Well, the same is also true for the Dredge because if you're crouching or crouch walking near him whenever he's teleporting in a locker or back to his remnant, he also won't get Killer Instinct on you as well. This is actually a pretty helpful piece of information when facing the Dredge, especially towards the end of the game when Nightfall can be used in order to find the last survivor who's either trying to hide or trying to get out through the exit gates. Anyways, I hope you learned something new about the Dredge today, and with that being said, I'll see you next time.